My beloved child, someone has been carrying a silent ache in their heart, and the strange part is that almost nobody around them has noticed it yet. They still smile when people speak to them. They still pretend everything is normal. They still answer messages, still walk into rooms like nothing is wrong, but deep inside, something has been quietly collapsing little by little. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. This is not just another passing emotion. This pain started the moment they realized that the connection they once trusted no longer feels the same. They kept replaying old memories in their mind, trying to understand where the warmth disappeared and why the distance suddenly started growing without explanation. What hurts them the most is not anger, not betrayal, not even silence. It is the feeling that they became emotionally invisible to someone they truly cared about. Don't skip, because the truth behind this is deeper than it looks. There were nights when they stared at the ceiling asking themselves whether they were simply overthinking everything, but their heart already knew the answer long before their mind accepted it. They noticed shorter conversations, colder energy, delayed replies, and the strange feeling that effort was slowly becoming one-sided. Yet instead of complaining, they stayed quiet because they were afraid that speaking up would push everything even further away. That is the reason their heart has been breaking quietly. Not because love disappeared instantly, but because they kept hoping things would return to how they once felt, while secretly watching everything slowly fade in front of them. There is another part of this story that almost nobody understands. The person carrying this pain never wanted perfection. They were not asking for grand promises or impossible attention. All they truly wanted was reassurance, honesty, and to feel emotionally safe with someone they trusted deeply. But something changed unexpectedly, and now they spend more time questioning themselves than feeling loved. Something huge is waiting for you, because the moment they stopped blaming others and started blaming themselves, the sadness became heavier than before. They started wondering if they were too emotional, too caring, too available, or simply not enough anymore. And that quiet self-doubt became the sharpest pain of all. Don't skip, because this hidden truth changes everything. The reason this heartbreak feels so intense is because their love was genuine from the beginning. People recover quickly from shallow attachments, but real emotional bonds leave deep echoes inside the soul. Every little memory now carries weight. Every familiar song suddenly feels personal. Every quiet moment reminds them of conversations they thought would last forever. Yet despite all this pain, they still carry kindness in their heart instead of bitterness, and that is what makes their spirit rare. They continue pretending to be strong while silently hoping for clarity, hoping for honesty, hoping for one moment that finally explains why everything changed without warning. And here is the revelation nobody saw coming. The breaking heart you keep sensing may belong to someone who never fully expressed what they truly felt because fear kept holding them back. Fear of rejection. Fear of losing the connection completely. Fear of hearing words they were not emotionally ready to accept. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The silence between two people can sometimes hurt more than any argument ever could, and right now that silence is becoming heavier every single day. But deep inside, this situation is creating a transformation neither person expected. One heart is learning the painful cost of emotional distance, while another is beginning to understand its true value after almost losing it completely. That is why the energy around this connection feels strange lately. Nothing feels fully finished, yet nothing feels fully understood either. Don't skip, because the next phase of this story changes everything. The quiet heartbreak happening now is forcing hidden emotions to rise to the surface, and soon someone will no longer be able to hide what they truly feel inside. The masks are becoming too heavy to wear. The emotions are becoming too strong to ignore. And when the truth finally comes out, both hearts will realize that the pain was never caused by lack of love alone. It was caused by the fear of speaking honestly before the distance became too deep. There is something even more emotional happening beneath the surface that nobody talks about openly. The person whose heart is quietly breaking has been trying to appear normal in front of everyone while secretly fighting emotional exhaustion alone. Every day they tell themselves they will stop caring so deeply, but every night the memories return stronger than before. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. They remember the small moments nobody else would understand. The little changes in tone. The way certain conversations once felt safe and warm. The tiny details that made them believe this connection was different from all the others. That is why their sadness feels so personal. They are not mourning a person alone. They are mourning the feeling they once had when everything still felt genuine. And what hurts even more is that they never imagined they would become strangers with someone who once felt like home to their soul. Quiet heartbreak is dangerous because it grows silently. Nobody notices the tears that never fall. Nobody sees the thoughts hidden behind forced smiles. But inside, this person has been carrying emotional weight that becomes heavier every single day. Stay till the end because the truth behind this silence is more powerful than you think. They keep checking for signs that things might change again. One kind message. One honest conversation. One moment of emotional clarity. But instead, they keep receiving confusion, and confusion is one of the hardest emotions for the heart to survive. Something huge is waiting for you because the distance between these two souls was never supposed to become this cold. There were too many unspoken feelings, too many moments where both people felt something deeply but chose silence instead of honesty. And now the silence itself has started controlling everything. One person waits quietly while pretending they have moved on. The other pretends not to care while secretly thinking about the connection far more than they admit. Don't skip, because this hidden emotional battle is reaching a turning point. Sometimes people push away what matters most to them because they are afraid of becoming vulnerable. They act distant to protect themselves, not realizing that emotional walls slowly destroy the very connection they are trying to save. That is exactly what happened here. Someone became emotionally unavailable at the exact moment deeper understanding was needed most. And now both hearts are trapped between pride, confusion, and feelings neither side fully knows how to express. The breaking heart keeps replaying one painful question again and again. If the connection was real, then why did things suddenly become so hard? That question has followed them everywhere lately. During quiet nights. During busy days. During moments when they should have been focused on other things. Their spirit keeps searching for answers because deep inside, they still feel unfinished emotions attached to this bond. But listen carefully, because this next part changes the meaning of everything. The pain happening now is not only about loss. It is also exposing hidden truths that were impossible to see before. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Sometimes emotional distance reveals who was truly invested and who was only comfortable while things felt easy. It reveals who silently fought for the connection and who slowly stopped protecting it. Most importantly, it reveals how deeply someone can love even while hurting. And that truth cannot stay hidden forever. The person whose heart is quietly breaking is becoming emotionally stronger in ways nobody around them fully understands yet. Every painful moment is teaching them to value honesty, emotional consistency, and genuine effort more than temporary attention. That transformation is powerful. Because once someone learns the difference between real emotional presence and empty words, they never see relationships the same way again. Don't skip, because the energy surrounding this story is beginning to shift. Someone who stayed silent for too long may soon realize that they waited too long to speak honestly. Someone who kept pretending everything was fine may suddenly feel emotions rising too strongly to hide anymore. And when that moment finally arrives, the truth that has been buried under silence, confusion, and emotional distance will finally come into the light in a way nobody expected. Lately, the emotional pressure inside this connection has become impossible to ignore. One person keeps trying to distract themselves with daily life, but their heart keeps returning to the same unanswered feelings over and over again. It follows them in quiet moments. It appears in random memories. It even shows up when they least expect it, like a voice inside their spirit refusing to let the connection disappear completely. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. What makes this heartbreak even more painful is that the love itself never fully vanished. The emotions are still there, hidden beneath silence, pride, confusion, and fear. That is why the energy feels unfinished. That is why certain thoughts still feel heavy late at night. Deep inside, someone knows there are words that were never spoken honestly. There are truths still sitting quietly inside the heart waiting for the right moment to finally come out. But instead of expressing those emotions directly, both people kept pretending they were stronger than they really were. And slowly, emotional distance began growing wider between them without either side fully realizing how serious it had become. Stay till the end because the next revelation explains why this connection still feels impossible to forget. Some bonds do not disappear simply because communication changes. Some people leave emotional fingerprints on the soul that remain long after the conversations become quiet. That is exactly why this heartbreak feels different from ordinary sadness. It is connected to unfinished emotions, unanswered questions, and feelings that were deeper than either person admitted openly. There is also something surprising happening behind the scenes that nobody expected. The person who appeared colder or more distant may actually be carrying emotional conflict too. Something huge is waiting for you because appearances have been hiding the real truth this entire time. Sometimes people act detached when they are overwhelmed by emotions they do not know how to handle properly. Instead of becoming vulnerable, they withdraw. Instead of explaining themselves, they disappear emotionally. Instead of admitting fear, they create distance and silence. Don't skip, because understanding this changes everything. The breaking heart believed they were the only one suffering, but deep down the other person has also been feeling the emotional weight of this separation more than they show outwardly. The difference is that one person expresses pain internally while the other hides it behind emotional walls. And those walls are becoming harder to maintain every single day. There have already been moments where the distant person almost reached out emotionally but stopped themselves at the last second. Moments where memories hit them unexpectedly. Moments where guilt, regret, or longing quietly entered their mind when nobody else was around. The connection still exists beneath all the silence, and that hidden emotional tension is why neither heart has fully found peace yet. One side is waiting for honesty. The other side is fighting fear. And the longer both remain silent, the heavier this emotional storm becomes. But now something is beginning to shift in a way neither side can control anymore. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Emotional truth can stay hidden for only so long before it starts demanding to be acknowledged. The silence that once felt protective is now starting to feel painful. The distance that once felt temporary is beginning to feel dangerous. And soon, someone will realize that losing this connection completely would hurt far more than having one honest conversation. That realization changes everything. The heart that has been quietly breaking is approaching a moment of emotional clarity where they will finally stop settling for confusion. They will stop chasing mixed signals. They will stop carrying the entire emotional weight alone. And strangely, that shift may become the exact moment the other person finally wakes up emotionally too. Because people often realize the true value of a connection only when they feel it slipping away completely. Don't skip, because the next chapter of this story carries a truth nobody was prepared for. The emotional distance that once seemed permanent may soon force hidden feelings into the open all at once. And when those emotions finally surface, both hearts will have to decide whether fear continues controlling the story, or whether honesty finally becomes stronger than silence. Something changed recently that neither person fully understands yet, but the energy surrounding this connection no longer feels the same as before. The silence has become louder. The memories have become heavier. Even the smallest reminders suddenly carry emotional weight that is impossible to ignore. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. The heart that has been quietly breaking is reaching a point where pretending no longer feels possible. They are exhausted from acting unaffected while carrying emotions that nobody else can see. They tried convincing themselves that time alone would erase everything, but certain connections leave marks deeper than ordinary memories. That is why this feeling keeps returning no matter how much they try to suppress it. Every unanswered question still lingers inside them. Every moment of emotional distance still echoes in their mind. The conversations feel emptier. The distractions no longer work the same way. Even surrounded by other people, there is still a strange feeling that something meaningful is missing. Don't skip, because this realization is changing the entire emotional balance between these two souls. The person who once seemed distant is slowly starting to understand the depth of what they almost lost. They are beginning to replay moments they once took for granted. Small conversations. Quiet support. Emotional safety. Genuine understanding. Things that once felt ordinary now suddenly feel rare and irreplaceable. That realization is creating emotional pressure inside them that grows stronger each day. And the more they try avoiding those feelings, the more intense they become. Deep down, both hearts are standing at the edge of an emotional turning point, whether they admit it openly or not. One heart is tired of carrying silent pain. The other is starting to realize silence may cost them something they can never fully replace again. But listen carefully, because this final truth changes everything. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Sometimes heartbreak enters a connection not to destroy it, but to expose everything that was hidden beneath the surface. It reveals unspoken fears, unexpressed emotions, emotional habits that slowly created distance without either side noticing. And once those truths become visible, nothing can continue the same way forever. The heart that has been quietly breaking is no longer the same person they were before this pain began. They have become more emotionally aware, more careful with their energy, and more honest with themselves about what they truly deserve. And strangely, that inner transformation is beginning to shift the entire connection itself. Because when someone stops begging for clarity and starts valuing their own emotional peace instead,